Hey guys, this is Nathan Pennington from RunDreamAchieve.com. I got a question from Rodney. Appreciate your question. He's asking how much water should you drink during marathon training? So that's kind of like the topic I want to discuss in today's video. Um, we're all different. So in terms of how often you drink during your long runs is going to vary from athlete to athlete. I usually during my training build-ups for my previous marathons in the past, I'd always focus on trying to drink anywhere from around 4 to 6 ounces every 3 miles during my long runs. I'd always drop out water bottles during the first I'd drive the course and make sure that I had the distance correct, but then I would have water bottles sitting out that way. You know, I'm practicing that essential habit of ingesting enough fluid during training so that when you get to the race, you don't make the same mistake that I made over the years, and that's definitely not taking in enough fluid during the race itself. That's one of the biggest mistakes I've made as a marathon runner over the years. We get very very caught up in focusing on the race, but a lot of times we either pass the water stations or we feel like I don't if I grab a water, it's going to slow me down, and then somebody else is going to take off, and I'm not going to be able to catch up. One of the smartest things you can do in a race is definitely is taking in sufficient amount of fluids so that you don't pay for it later on in the race. Again, the marathon distance, and it doesn't matter what event it is, but especially the longer races, the 10K to marathon distances or longer. Your hydration practices, what you're doing in training, what you do in the race is absolutely critical for your success. And that's the name of the game when it comes to these videos that I'm making here now on the Run Dream Achieve YouTube channel, is making sure that you, one, don't make the mistakes that I made, okay, but two, starting to use leverage so you're working smarter and you're getting better results off of less work. We all have to realize that higher mileage is not always going to be the right answer to run faster times. Um, that being said, with this being a specific video about hydration, Rodney, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in my past training buildups. Um, that's about around 6 ounces because I usually have a 12-ounce water bottle out every between 3 and 5 miles in my long runs. My long run distances ranged from anywhere from like 16 miles out to 30 miles. My longest run I've ever done ever was 30 miles. It was I was actually stationed at Fort Campbell in Texas, or in Tennessee. We lived on the Tennessee side. But yeah, I was training up for the 2011 Indianapolis Monumental Marathon and got my long run out to 30 miles. But again, um, had water bottles out throughout that long run, and was you know trying to get to the point where I got used to ingesting in different amounts. So usually about every 3 to 5 miles, I'd have a 12-ounce water bottle out, and usually I would take down about close to about half a bottle each time, and then obviously you have to drop it down. But you gotta find out what works best for you. You don't want to drink so much that you have water slogging around your stomach, and then you get sick, and your stomach upset and all that. So just continue to find out what amount works best for you. But I guess the main focus with this video is just to reiterate the fact that you do not want to just sip fluids in a marathon race. If your muscles are absolutely craving for fluid and sugars and calories during that race, so do not skimp on your hydration practices in training first, but also once you get to the race, don't get so caught up in the race that you're neglecting those water stations and not taking in enough fluid. Again, everybody's different, so 6 ounces every 3 miles may be a little too much for you. And again, the distances over the years varied. I mean, I'd usually between 3 and 5 miles. Usually, I would practice that in training, and practice also taking in different amounts of fluid. So I didn't get to the race itself and had not have practiced, ingesting various amounts of fluid and seeing how my body reacted to that. So, Rodney, hopefully that answers your question, man. Uh, you know, and I appreciate the questions and comments that you all leave on these videos, because it also gives me some feedback on what you're looking for, and hopefully I can provide those answers to you based on my background. Um, Again, I've been doing this for 28 years. I'm officially retired now, but what I've been taught by some of the world's top distance running coaches and some of some phenomenal athletes that I had the privilege of being able to live with and train with and get my butt kicked in training with, taught me how to get to the point where obviously I was able to run the times that I was able to run. Obviously, I was not the world's fastest marathon runner or 5K, 10K specialist, but based on my background, I had little talent, and I had to make up for that lack of talent with a great deal of hard work and drive and focus and determination. And if you're on this channel already, it already tells me, hey, you're fired up, you're motivated, you're ready to do big things, and you're seeking answers. And that's what successful people do. They're always trying to find out what is the best strategy to get the best results. And a lot of times, working smarter gets you faster results than working harder. This idea of you got to work hard to get results, I don't necessarily believe that. I got up to 142 miles a week running consistent mileage that high, and it was not getting me better results. So higher mileage isn't always the answer. Lower mileage isn't always the answer. It's what you're putting into those miles, how you're setting up your training. Are you doing the little things like the little things that'll make big differences in the end, which is like hydration. I'm telling you, you can be as fired up and motivated as you want, as you can be, doing the track sessions, the hill repetitions, the tempos, the long runs at speeds that are far exceeding what you're trying to race the distance in. But if you skimp on getting proper sleep, making sure that you're hydrating well in training and in the race, and not neglecting those specific areas of your training, you're really going to set yourself up for success as long as you don't neglect those areas. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't always have, I didn't always nail the marathon distance itself. I had a lot of ebbs and flows in my own training, from the 1 mile distance when I was in high school all the way to the marathon as a professional athlete. So again, Rodney, hopefully this answers your question. Feel free to leave another comment if I didn't get into this topic and didn't answer your question as specifically as you wanted. Hopefully I have. So if you haven't yet and you're new to the channel, feel free to click on the subscribe button. I'll leave some information at the description below this video, which will also help you out. I've operated RunDreamAchieve.com since 2011. I have running courses for beginner athletes to marathon specialists, all the way from the beginner level all the way to the elite level, and various training programs for beginners as well for elite athletes that are available to you as well. And I have about 530 posts now on the site. I continue to add content on there each week. And obviously here at the YouTube channel, which I started in January of this year, relatively new to the video making industry, but I've enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed hearing from athletes from around the world that are seeking answers and trying to get better results. And that's the name of the game. You want to use leverage. You do not want to get so caught up in, I have to run high mileage or to get better results, or I don't have what it takes because I'm not getting the results that I want as fast as I want. A lot of these things you learn along the way. You learn that working harder isn't always the answer. It's really about working smarter and focusing on quality rather than quantity. I heard that over the years too from various coaches. They would tell me, hey, don't get caught up in that high mileage thing, and they were 100% right. It's what you're putting into those workouts, coupled with what is your recovery strategies between those hard sessions that you're doing on the track and on the roads. You got to allow yourself time to recover. It's, you know, all the benefits from your hard work are going to come in the rest. They don't come within the workout. The workout's still important. You still got to put in the work. You're not going to run a marathon at, you know, in under 3 hours, for example. That's 6:52 per mile for 26.2 miles. If you're doing 90% of your weekly volume at, you know, 8:30 to 9 minute mile pace, you're going to be a very, very strong athlete endurance wise, but stamina wise, you're not going to prepare yourself to maintain that pace over that long of a distance. So you have to spend time far below your goal marathon pace or your goal 5K pace, whatever it is. You know, just for example, if you want to run, you know, a 3 hour marathon, you have to get used to running specific reps on the track at, you know, around 5:20 to 5:30 mile pace. You got to get, you know, you got to do those hill repetitions where you're in an all-out sprint and you're running for small, you know, periods of time at like 5 minute mile pace. So the reason why I always stress that in other videos where you know, focus on training at near or far below your goal race pace is you want to get race pace to feel relaxed and in control. And again, that's why the best distance runners always make it look easy, because they've taught themselves, they've taught their bodies to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up when they're racing. And they're able to clear that. So, you know, all those tempo runs, those track sessions, you're building that lactate tolerance up. So your body has become very, very efficient. But again, you know, how much water should you drink during marathon training or during 5K training, during your training leading up to any distance? If you neglect that piece, it doesn't matter all the other hard work that you put in. If you neglect that, especially in the marathon distance, because it's such a long race where your body, you know, desperately needs that hydration, you know, it's really gonna, it'll hurt you in the long run. Even if you're on pace for, you know, 10 miles to 15 miles, especially that latter part of the race, man, I'm telling you right now, because I've learned that lesson several times in the marathon, where I was on sub 220 marathon pace numerous times, you know, where I'd be at like 217, 218 pace and just bomb. I'd run like, at least for me, I'd just, you know, 236 or 250 or 245. I did that numerous times. I only got really, in my opinion, I really got the marathon right one time. I broke 220 once. I broke 230 once or twice with the 219, and my second fastest 226. Ran a bunch of 230s, 230, you know, 30 plus range marathons, and I made a lot of mistakes. So, and a lot of the biggest mistakes I made was hydration. So, learn from my mistakes and hopefully, you know, steer clear of that mistake of not taking in enough fluid during the race. Make sure you're practicing that. Once I started to get good at that, that's when I broke 220, and that's when I broke 227. So hopefully this has been helpful. Like, again, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, click on subscribe that way, and the bell icon as well. That way, anytime I make a new video, you'll be notified of that. So I'll talk to you next time. And Rodney, I wish you the best with your training. Keep me posted, man. Hopefully, you know, you get a big PR here pretty soon. So talk to you soon.